Assalamualaikum everyone. Welcome back in our YouTube channel. The content of the video are speeches about mathematics. And for your information guys, I was given the task of changing the sound of this video with my voice. And without any further ado, let's check this out. 26% on the nation report part that the percentage you below for 12th grader for the subtraction in math. In America, we had everything as an exceptional country, but the 26.7 sound exceptional to you. Raise your hand if you think as the country we need to do way better than that. I'm with you. We all need math for why so many get confused by us. It is because only 26% of people are hardwired from that, while 70% are not. After working with thousands of kids, I can tell you this is the case at all. Kids don't understand math because we've been teaching it at the humanized subject, but if we make math human again, it would start to make sense again. You're probably wondering how is math in every human in the first place? So think about it. Math is human language just like English, Spanish, and Chinese because it allows people to communicate with each other. Even in ancient time, people need the language of math to conduct trade, to build a monument, and to measure the land for farming. This idea of math language isn't actually new. A great philosopher once said, "The laws of nature are written in the language of mathematics." So you see, even Galileo agrees in it, but somewhere along the line, we're taking the language of math with about the real world awareness, and we abstracted beyond this recognition, and that's why kids they get confused. Let me show you what this means. We'll see this third grade California math standard, and people make sense when 8 years old. Understand the function 1 over b as the quantity formed by one part when a wall is partitioned into b equal parts. Understand a function a over b as the quantity formed by a part of size 1 over b. And if you give this description to an 8-year, you probably get reaction like this. To a math expert, this standard makes sense, but to a kid it's absolute torture. I tell this example especially because the functions are the foundational to algebra, trigonometry, and even calculus. So kids don't understand function is the elementary middle school because it has half-road way to ahead them in the high school. But there's a way to make subtraction simple and easy for kids to understand. Yeah, just remember that math is the language and use that to fear damage. For example, when I teach first grader how to add the subtraction, I start with the apple plus lesson. First say yes, 1 apple plus 1 apple, and people often say 2 with the petty correct. Have them include the words as well as with the math of the language. But not just 2, it's 2 apples. Next is 3 pencils plus 3 pencils. You are all know that pencil plus pencil is pencils. So everyone, how many pencils? 6 pencils is right. And this case is you include the word I tried to submit with my 5 years old niece in month. After she's added pencil and pencil, I asked her what 4 billion plus 1 billion and my own overhead in the distance. She called and said, "Are you crazy? She's speaking German. How she's supposed to know 4 billion plus 1 billion? I'm done it. My niece finishes accounting, looks up and says, 5 billion? And I said, that's right, it is 5 billion. My aunt stood ahead on that because she didn't expect that from the 5 year. But all you have to do is take a language approach and math become intuitive and easy to understand that I asked her a question that kindergarten definitely not supposed to know. Plus wanted, and she immediately answered treated. Says as you are wondering, how can she possibly know that when she doesn't know about the numerator and denominator yet? You see, she wasn't thinking about numerator and denominator. She solved the problem this way, and she used one apple plus one apple as her analogy to understand wanted plus wanted. So even a kindergartner can add subtraction. You'd better believe that every third grader can do it as well. Just for fun, I asked her an algebra question: what 7x squared plus 2x squared, and then the war 5-year correctly answered 9x squared, and she did any exponent rules to figure that it out. So when the people say that we are either aware or not, it's not true. Math is a human language, so we have all the ability to understand this. We need to take a language approach to math urgently because too many kids are lost and they are anxious about math. And it doesn't have to be that way. I work with an angry, frustrated high school student one who couldn't pass the algebra because she also only knew 44% of the multiplication task. I've taught her that such a kind of word only knowing the 44% of the alphabet holding me back. She couldn't pass her or public relation, and she had no confidence in that. As the result, this teenager had confidence in herself. I've taught her we have to start with the multiplication because one thing all of you have with your part, everything gets easier and they will be having a flashback every happy ride in Disneyland. What do you think? And she said, okay. But she has systematically learned the timetable in 4 weeks. And yes, even a multiplication has the language in better than that. You'll be surprised how many kids don't realize 7 times 3 can be spelled out as 7x3, which just means 3 7 times, just like that. So when kids see this way, they quickly realize that the repetition is slow and inconvenience. So they glad is memorized that 3 7x. All the way to 21 before the teenager would authorize to dropping out, becoming fluent and confident in multiplication with the game changer. Because for the first time, we can focus on the problem solving instead of counting on the finger. I knew she's at the corner when she has figured out that 2 years curly at $445 a month would cost you $10,618, and she's looking at me disapprovingly and said, it's a Polish shock. That's expensive at the moment. At the moment, not having one that causing problem for her, but she looks giving a math solve problem as the reason to adult. As an educator, it's my duty to challenge kids to be tired. Tirely you with this challenge. Our country stuck at 26% subtraction, and I challenge you to pass the number higher. This is important because mathematical thinking not with your mind, but our kids needed to imagine and develop their future. Meeting this challenge can be as simple as apple plus apple. Insist that we teach math the human language, and we will get there sooner rather than later. Thank you. Okay guys, there are speeches about mathematics. I hope you like this video, and don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and goodbye.